If you think commercial real estate is only for the mega rich, you are about to be shocked, because in 2026, normal people, W-2 earners, moms, small business owners can finally get into real estate faster than ever. And the reason is simple. The rules have changed and nothing is as it seems. Dun, dun, dun. Today, I am going to break down exactly how the average person can invest in commercial real estate in 2026 and why 2026 is a fantastic opportunity with 3 different actionable strategies that don't require millions of dollars, perfect credit, or a bunch of rich friends. So before we start, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what questions you have about real estate success in 2026. Okay. In 2008 and 2009, real estate market crashed, and we have seen a crazy rise in prices ever since, until now. Boom. In 2021, the real estate market peaked because interest rates were at an all-time high. They were at an all-time low. Prices were at an all-time high. Interest rates low, prices high. Buyer sentiment was strong, and buying a property felt like getting in line for a nightclub. Everybody wanted in. Cue The Hangover. Interest rates flipped, inflation went up, and the perfect storm for a price reset happened. Now, in real estate, we look at comps from the past 2 years. So 2021, prices were still affecting purchase prices in 2022 and 2023. 2024 is when this rude awakening started, and in 2025, sellers have come to terms with reality and prices have dropped. So we're seeing prices reset in sectors between 25%, 30%. If you're an office building in Denver, Colorado, 97%, but that's a whole different video and a therapy session for those owners. Anyway, numbers have come down, and investors use what's called the Fear and Greed Index. So 2021 is where we saw greed. In 2021, money was free. We all survived the pandemic. PPP money was flowing, and it seemed like everybody and their moms were buying commercial real estate and seemingly doing really well. Now, the fundamentals of investing, right? The Fear and Greed Index actually applies to all investments, but we're applying it to commercial real estate today. Technically, fundamentals, 101 investing. You want to buy when there's fear, right? You want to zig while they zag. Human nature is to want to do what everybody else does. But the way that you achieve success in investing is by doing the opposite. So in 2021, greed was at an all-time high, and with this price reset, with the rise in interest rates and an overall uncertainty in the economy, people became, in 2023, 2024, 2025, more fearful of buying commercial real estate. That probably had something to do with all these office buildings in downtown Denver selling for 97% less than what they were purchased for. Anyway, 2026, we're in fear territory. There's all this bad media about buying commercial real estate, and that essentially makes the entire public afraid to buy it, which, back to investing 101, is exactly when you should be buying said investment. Do your research. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I just love nerding out over investing. Anyway, when there's fear in the market, there's less competition. And this is our opportunity. This is the first time in years we are seeing a golden opportunity that people have room to enter commercial real estate without having to compete with huge funds, the big dogs, I don't know, other rich people. So if you ever thought, man, I could never afford commercial real estate, you're in the store, because we're going to tell you the 3 ways to enter the commercial real estate market in 2026 as an average person to set you and your family up for success, long-term, generational wealth, and time on the beach with me, because that's my goal. I would like to go to the beach. It's 40 degrees out. Anyway, what is commercial real estate? When people think commercial real estate, they're thinking skyscrapers, huge Amazon warehouses, etc. And Sure, those are commercial real estate, but it doesn't have to be so grandiose. You might work in a commercial space, like say you work in automotive, or say you work in a barber shop, right? And we all, unless you don't leave your house, spend time in commercial spaces. Restaurants, gyms, dry cleaner, salon, you name it. Just think about your day-to-day when you're going around, and what is commercial real estate? The doctor's office, yes? Office is not dead. Everybody still has to go to the doctor. These aren't $20 million buildings. These are properties that are honestly often priced the same or less than a house. Path 1 is to buy your own commercial property for your business. You would not believe how many owners I talk to who have this story. They have a business. They bought the building. 30 years later, they've sold the business, they've retained the building, and this building is their retirement. You wouldn't believe how many people have told me that same story. So, path number 1, if you operate a business, buy a building. And I know it's like easier said than done, but there's a way to do it that you may not know about. And that is through the SBA. SBA stands for Small Business Administration. They will give loans to small businesses like yours to buy property. And the way they do so, it's a government assistance program that allows you to do so with a lower down payment. Now, say you don't own a business, but you want to buy. I can already see now in the comments, you can't buy anything for $500,000 or the price of a house. You can't buy anything for $1 million. We're going to head on into CoStar and I'm going to show you that that is not true. Let's dig in. Let's jump into CoStar. I'm going to show you opportunities in Denver, Colorado between $500,000 and $1 million for your first commercial real estate investment. All right, sales. Sale price, $500,000, $1 million. CoStar is a software used by commercial real estate professionals, so you might want to engage a broker because they're going to be able to do this with a lot better information, data, experience, etc. So let's say we only want office buildings, industrial buildings, retail buildings, and flex buildings that are active investments. I'm going to exclude condos. Yes, commercial condos exist, and I'm going to make it so the cap rate is 7% or more. Boom. Okay, medical office, 10 cap, 975. Okay, restaurant, 8% return, 814. Restaurant, $1 million, 7% return. Ooh, this is pretty. Okay, retail, 9 cap, 900,000. More retail, 7.5 cap, 875. Do you guys pick up what I'm putting down over here? Don't believe the naysayers. There is tons of opportunity under $1 million for the same price as a single family home in commercial real estate. Okay, now back to the YouTube video. So if you don't have a business and you want to go conventional, there is a world of opportunity in the $500,000 to $1 million range. You just have to know about it. 25% of $500,000 is $125,000, and you might not have that. That's a ton of money, but you may very well be able to syndicate that. Now, what does that mean? Syndication means raising money from your friends and family to buy property. We'll go more into syndication in a second, and you should do a ton of research about it because it's really, really powerful, but it's complicated, and you need to know what you're doing before you give somebody a check. Right? But path 1, buy something small, ideally for your business, or buy something with friends and family. So I want to hear your questions. Comment your questions. Make sure to like, subscribe. I'm going to respond to all questions. Now, this is how a ton of commercial business owners become commercial property owners without realizing they've done something extremely sophisticated. Path number 2, become a partner in a deal. So we were just talking about syndication, and this is how you can invest in commercial real estate by giving the money without having to do all the hard work of learning a market, learning a product type, dealing with brokers and owners and banks and all that fun stuff. Instead of being the syndicator, right, the person raising the money, you are the person giving the money. So it's really simple. Give a check, get a check, right? That is the basics of syndication. And with that, you can own commercial real estate without having to manage tenants, negotiate leases, deal with repairs, running a building, but you still get cash flow, equity, tax benefits, appreciation, etc. Now I'm going to clue you into something really cool. The street lingo for being a syndicator is a GP, general partner, right? GP, general partner / syndicator. That is the person raising the money and buying the deal. So the other person is the LP, the limited partner. That's the person giving the check. So you're not the GP, you're the LP. Give a check, get a check. So the question as an LP becomes, where are we meeting GPs? And I thought you'd never ask. Conferences, networking events, within your network, the internet. I know that sounds nuts, and I could make a whole video on how to find the right GP or LP comment if you want that, but you do not need to be rich to buy into commercial real estate with this GP LP structure. You just need to find a strong, trustworthy operator with a real track record. There is risk to this method. There's risk in all investing, but you want to find somebody you can trust, and remember, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So make sure, as an LP, you're working with a trusted and experienced operator, and there are 3 rules to syndication. 1, don't do a dumb deal.
What is this? Where's all the money?
2, don't do a dumb deal.
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
And 3, don't do a dumb deal.
Go ahead and add it up. Every cent's accounted for.
Now, path 3 to buying a commercial property in 2026 is one of my favorites. Done a number of these deals in the past few years, and that is called seller financing. So, what is seller financing? If you buy a property with a loan, generally the bank loans you money, and you have to fill out all this paperwork, and you have to give them your firstborn child, and all this hoops that banks make you jump through to get a deal done. You don't have any of that in seller financing. And this is one of the most underrated opportunities for the average person. Find a seller financed opportunity. You have to find a seller who owns a property outright and acts like the bank. It solves the biggest problem buyers have, which is dealing with a bank. If you're talking to a seller about seller financing, they can't have a loan on the property, right? Because then there is a bank involved. Generally, in a seller financing scenario, the seller owns the entire property outright. So remember that. We're looking for people who own the property without any loans on it. There's still paperwork. There's still due diligence. There's still work to be done, but not by JP Morgan, who's very strict and he has a lot of rules. So instead of the mania of working with a bank, the seller plays the bank. And there are many instances in which this can benefit both the buyer and the seller. Why? If I'm seller A and I own a building worth $1 million and I sell it, essentially, I'm going to have a huge tax bill. However, if I only take a smaller down payment and then I get payments monthly, I won't have such crazy tax repercussions. That's called a win-win, my friend. So seller carry is super common in commercial real estate because a lot of owners are older, debt-free, tired of dealing with tenants, and looking for passive income and ways to reduce their taxes. So they'd rather get a monthly payment from you than one big bill from Uncle Sam. And you, my friend, you're going to get easier terms like smaller down payments, reasonable interest rates, 20 to 30-year amortization, a balloon in 5 to 10 years, and fast, clean closings. Honestly, you could technically negotiate anything. As long as the other side agrees, your terms and conditions for your seller carry could be literally, you could have to make dinner for the person every night. Don't do that. That sounds like a huge commitment, but you get the drill. So this is how we're pitching seller carry. Seller carry, seller financing, same thing. All you say to either the broker or the owner is, would you be open to a seller carry? I can buy this conventionally, but if you'd prefer monthly income and a stronger return, would you be open to being the bank? And I think you'd be surprised how often the answer is yes. So seller carry is a very cool way to establish yourself in commercial real estate. Now, if I were starting from zero in 2026, completely from scratch, here is exactly what I would do to start in commercial real estate. Number one, if I own a business, I will buy a multi-tenant space for my business with an SBA loan so I can have a tenant help pay the mortgage. Number two, I'd invest passively as an LP in a strong operator's deal. There is a world in which you could have an entry point at $10,000 or $25,000, which are a lot of money, but for a commercial deal, it's not. But it's an amazing entry point and somewhere to start, and everybody has to start. Number three, I would look for a seller-financed building where the owner wants income instead of a tax bill. These three moves are going to put you on the same path as building wealth as a seasoned investor without needing millions in the bank, rich family, friends, etc. So, if you want me to break down which of these strategies you should do, drop a comment below. I'm going to respond to everyone, and I'm going to give you personalized recommendations. Commercial real estate has always been the secret wealth play reserved for insiders, but in 2026, the door has finally opened for the average person to walk through it now. Now do so while you still can. Thanks for listening. I have a few other videos if you're interested in commercial real estate, and we'll see you next week.